Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Filibust and I have over 250 hours in Marathon at the time of recording this, and I got some really good tips for you guys to get the most out of these runner shells. But before we get into that, I have a dope clip from the playtest back in April, and it was the first time me and my buddy decided to bring gold shields in on a run, and everything went to crap. We got pinched between two teams again. Both my teammates were down. I had to get 6 kills just to bring us out of that situation and save all of our best gear. It was legendary. I'll let the clip speak for itself, but stay tuned because I got some pro tips coming up.
Right here. Close.
Knock one. Knock the void right here. Finishing for ping. Finishing for ping.
Pushing now.
Oh fuck, you're down.
Yeah, he's pushing now.
1 HP.
Oh, another.
Oh fuck. Sure. Yep. Get fucked, you fuck. Get fucked. Another one. Shut up. Silence.
Come on.
Oh fuck. Holy shit. I don't know. Holy shit, why is a gold shield run this fucking crazy, chat?
Villa! What the fuck, man?
Dude, you just took down 2 teams solo.
That's what I do. I told you. That's what I do. Clip it.
All right, quick disclaimer before we get into these tips. It is pre-release, this video. It's actually January 26th at the time of recording this, and the game comes out on March 5th. So, although I do try to keep all of my tips based off things that I don't think are going to change, like you're not going to hear me make a video about gun balance before release, but still, I got to throw this disclaimer out because technically all this stuff is subject to change. Yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump right into the first tip. All right, we're going to start off with Rook. This is the one shell that's going to apply to everybody. Whenever you're on a Rook run and you're using his main tactical ability that puts the red mask up on your face on and it lets you blend in with the UESC so that they don't attack you, it's important to remember that you cannot sprint. This took me a little while to figure out. It's generally you want to pop this and just sprint through a crowd of bots and they're all going to shoot at you. If you sprint, you'll notice that that red symbol on your screen will disappear. So yeah, when you're using Rook and you're trying to blend in with the bots, do not sprint. All right, Destroyer. This is probably the strongest shell in the game in my opinion. And yeah, let's just get right into it, starting with the basics. You can double tap his sprint key to do like a double time sprint. And he has a double jump that's like a lateral, it's like a horizontal, it's like a pounce. I think of it as a pounce. And also, that's how I think of him as a character as well. He's like a predator that likes to pounce on weaknesses, okay? But this is also that double jump, you can use it in any direction. You can do it sideways, backwards. This is important to remember when you're pairing it with his riot shield, because if you're in a situation where you pop the riot shield and you're getting shot at by multiple people, throwing a quick double jump backwards to create a bunch of gap between you and whatever's trying to kill you can be a very valuable tool. So keep that one in mind. And then his ultimate ability, I want you to think of this as a close range ability, because if you try to use it against players at like medium to long range, you're going to just get like no value out of it. You'll find it's just very frustrating to pop the ult and then not land a single rocket. But if you're right on top of someone, it's just, you get almost max value out of it and you can just obliterate people at close range. And believe it or not, another way to get guaranteed value is by using it against the UESC bots. You can really plow through like a whole crowd of bots, or if you're fighting like a boss or something like that, you can really, it just does so much damage and guaranteed value against these bots because they're not going to be hiding behind cover in the same way that players do. And then lastly, with Destroyer, the biggest mistake I see people make with him is really in his playstyle. Like I said, I like to think of him as the predator who pounces on weaknesses. And by weaknesses, I mean like anything. It can be like, oh, this flank right here would absolutely destroy them. Okay, well, you're going to be the fastest one to be able to get to that flank, so pounce on it. Or we just hit a big nade. I know they took a bunch of damage. They're really going to want to be healing. Okay, now it's a great opportunity for you to pounce in and put some pressure before they can get those heals off and stop them from being able to heal. Or if you're, your teammates get a knock or something. So the mistake people make is that because his shell is revolved so much around aggression, and speed that they feel like he's the one that needs to initiate the fight and draw the attention towards himself as like the tank with the aggro or something like that. But fights against players don't work like that, right? Don't think of him as the initiator who starts the fight. There's actually better shells that I'm about to talk about that are better kitted to open the team fight up for you. Think of him as the guy who finishes the fight, right? He's the closer. He just like once an opportunity opens itself up, he pounces on that opportunity and just wipes the floor. All right, next up we got Assassin. Very awesome shell here. All revolves around stealth and smokes. When you think about the archetype of this shell, it plays right into the name. The name of the game with him is he's probably the best initiator of team fights in the game, because he can pop that stealth, he can get up on a team unsuspectingly, and he can literally assassinate one of them right out of the gate. Coming out of stealth with a shotgun is so powerful, and you can just immediately open up with a knock. And if you got a destroyer and the rest of your team ready to pounce and collapse on them, or at that point, it's just lights out and the fight is over before it began. Very, very fun shell. Opens up a lot of interesting plays. It's got some defensive utility as well. Another tip is when you're using his ultimate, it shoots out like a line of smoke in front of you. You can use this as a fake out, right? Like I've been in plenty of situations where I've been in a really bad spot and I've thrown the smoke in a certain direction to make them think I'm trying to go that way, and I actually just dipped out the other way and it completely jukes people out. So keep that in mind, especially if you got a little bit of natural cover to work behind. And yeah, one other tip with him, I know he gets stealth going into any smoke, but be careful popping out of smokes, even though you're going to be stealth. If you're right in front of a team, because that smoke is behind you, there's something about the smokes, and maybe it's like the flat gray color, but when you're coming out of smokes, it's one of the most vulnerable times, even though you're invis, to be spotted out of stealth. Other than that, I mean, his stealth is generally really strong. But yeah, something to keep in mind. But Assassin, a great shell, a lot of fun, probably the best initiator in the game. All right, next up we got Vandal, hands down the sexiest shell in the game, and also fits into that same initiator archetype that Assassin does. Now, I said Assassin is the best. On day one, Assassin is going to be hands down the best initiator in the game because he's just so easy to extract value from. Vandal, on the other hand, has a bit of a steeper learning curve, but at the higher skill levels, when you get into lobbies full of really solid players, I feel like Assassin's tricks are going to stop working because people are going to be too ready for it. Then Vandal is going to possibly overtake him at the higher levels as the better initiator in the game. But yeah, let's get into how to abuse and exploit this shell's strength. So the way that Vandal initiates a fight for a team is a little bit different than Assassin, and it all revolves around her arm cannon. It's all about placing that perfect arm cannon shot that knocks an enemy like up in the air and out in the open for her and her team to just knock them and get that opening pick. And then you're in a 3 versus 2 and you can collapse. And her kit also has the agility that allows her to kind of reposition and get into these vantage points that are unexpected, that allow her to like land those shots and root these people out of their defensive positions, right? So if you think of Destroyer as like the burst, he's got the burst speed, he's like the sprinter, then that would mean Vandal is like the marathon runner, right? No pun intended. Like if you pop her ultimate, she can pretty much, I feel like she can just run across the whole map so fast. So you can do like a really long flank if you need and get up behind a team, and they're going to feel like they're getting third party by a whole nother team because you're going to get so far so fast. And then use her double jump to kind of get at these unexpected vantage points. And another thing about this shell, it is definitely hands down the best at taking and controlling high ground from other teams. So if you think you got a whole enemy team camping on a roof, you can use her mobility to get up at an unsuspecting angle, and then a fully charged arm blast can knock the entire team off of the roof instantaneously. And that is just the best way to initiate a fight. It's pretty much just a guaranteed way to crush an entire team in one ability. So yeah, you start mastering these. Just one thing to note with her super crouch slide is that it's the only crouch slide in the game that you can't shoot during. So while it is very powerful, especially as like a defensive tool to run away, and you can use it aggressively, but it's more like an aggressive repositioning tool, to think of it that way, because you can't shoot while doing it, obviously. So keep that in mind. Yeah, but with these tips, I think you'll find that the skill ceiling on this shell is very, very high. All right, next up we got Thief, and Thief is like that hybrid shell for combat. She's like half support and like half combat with her grapple. So on the support side, she's got her recon drone that allows her to get that situational awareness by pinging enemies. And then on the combat side, her grapple. And I feel like this is probably the most versatile tool in the game. This can be used aggressively, it can be used defensively, it can be paired with a sniper to get up onto a sniper vantage point. I'm really excited to see some of the highlights that come out of this shell from y'all and get this in your hands. But yeah, Thief, kind of more of a wide open book to be creative with. All right, recon. This is one where I almost want to make an entire video just on its own, but I mean, I'll probably make guides for all of these eventually. But for right now, here's some basic tips to kind of get you up and off the ground. So name of the game, situational awareness. And the best tool in her kit for that is probably her passive for finisher, her finisher passive, where if she finishes someone on the ground, she gets a ping on both of their remaining teammates for you and your crew. And you want to verbalize this as often and as early as possible, because this is something your crew needs to be aware of as well. Not only like, hey, I'm getting the finish for ping right now so that they know it's coming, but also like, yo, let me get that finish so that they don't steal the people on the ground, and they help you kind of get the pings better for your whole team that way. And then I also want to talk about those little red footsteps she leaves on the ground, or not she leaves, but like basically whenever you see those are only for you and your crew. So they're always leading to an enemy, and they're always leading to an enemy whose shield that you just cracked at the very least. So they're almost always on the back foot. And 99% of the time, these people have no idea that they're leaving these footsteps, right? It's almost nobody who's smart enough to think, oh, it was the recon who cracked my shield, so I'm leaving red footsteps and I better play accordingly. No, they're mostly just thinking, crap, oh crap, oh crap, I need to get back, I need to hide, I need to heal. So 9 out of 10 times, those footsteps are just going to lead to a little hiding spot where they're tucked in and trying to get back up to full health. It's very, very powerful to pounce on these whenever you see them. And next up is her tracker drone. To get the most value out of this, you want to really make sure you're either using it to press an advantage that your team is pushing, or defensively, like fully defensively, that you guys are just getting pushed. No in between, right? Like you don't want to throw this out in neutral when like you guys, like if you're in one building, another team's in another building, and there's this no man's land in between you, throwing the tracker drone out in that situation just to see what happens is almost guaranteed wasting it. First of all, they can shoot the tracker drone, but probably won't hit, and even if it does hit, you're not in a position to follow up. But yeah, if you're pressing the advantage, this can really stop them from being able to run away or make any rotations or flanks. And if you are getting pressed, not only can this shut down the rush and give you guys time to live, if you catch them out in the open, this might just like net you free kills straight up and completely can flip a fight on its head. And then her ultimate, just remember that this is giving away your position every time you use it. And this is also something you want to communicate with your teammates. Like, yo, I'm scanning for the ping, so that, again, like with the finisher, they're aware that the pings are coming. And they're also aware that they need to cover you, right? So like, speaking of that, you got to remember, this is the last tip. You are full on a support shell. So you don't have, other than throwing that tracker drone out, you don't have any defensive options, and you don't have any movement options. So you need to be very smart with your positioning and make sure that you stay close enough to your team where they can cover you. All right, triage. This is the other fully support shell. So again, positioning is very important, and make sure you stay close enough to your teammates so that they can help you out. But this is your more typical support shell. It's like the healer. It's actually probably the easiest shell in the game to get like close to the max value. Very, I don't want to say low skill ceiling, but like shallow. The learning curve is not too steep. The name of the game really is just get a heal bot up on every one of your teammates, including yourself, right? The biggest tip for this is energy amps. You want to be taking an energy amp as soon as a run starts. This lowers the cooldown on your abilities, so you're going to get 3 heal bots out in half the amount of time that you would otherwise do it. So if you're running low on energy amps, tell your teammates to start siphoning them for you. As soon as they find an energy amp, they should be feeding them to you. I'm gonna have to call it right there. This video is already getting too long. If you guys got something valuable out of these tips, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see some more of this stuff, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the next. It really helps the channel out. And then yeah, drop any questions you have in the comments down below. I read all of them. I'm happy to get to anything that you need. If you want a certain type of content, if you got any questions about the game you want me to answer, I'm happy to share as much of this wisdom as I can with you guys. That's gonna do it for me. I am Philibus, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, and now triage. This is the other support shell. Again, because you're purely support, you got no defensive movement. You got no movement option, no defensive options or movement option. You got no movement or defensive options. You got nothing. You got nothing. Just don't play this fucking shell. Bad. I'm just kidding. Revolves around fighting and combat. So he has the boat.